King Charles just did something almost no world leader dares to do in Donald Trump's White House. He joked at Trump's expense, and for one unexpected moment at the White House state dinner, the room froze, then erupted, because in front of Trump, Melania, top CEOs, Supreme Court justices, and some of the most powerful people in America, King Charles delivered one line that instantly stole the night. And yes, it was aimed directly at Donald Trump. What was supposed to be a polished high-glamour state dinner quickly turned into something much bigger, a royal power play, a diplomatic spectacle, and one viral moment nobody saw coming. On Tuesday night, King Charles and Queen Camilla arrived at the White House for one of the most high-profile diplomatic events of the year. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump rolled out the red carpet, literally, for the British monarch and Queen consort during their 4-day visit to the United States. The visit was meant to celebrate 250 years of American independence, which, on paper, sounds ironic enough already. The British monarchy, celebrating America breaking away from Britain. But what unfolded inside the White House was even more surreal. This wasn't just another formal dinner. This was one of the most carefully staged political images of the year. King Charles, Queen Camilla, Donald Trump, Melania Trump, all together inside the White House, smiling for cameras, raising glasses, projecting unity, at least on the surface. Because behind the glamour, this visit carried real political weight. Tensions between Washington and London have been growing. Trump has publicly taken shots at UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. He criticized Britain's military posture. He reportedly questioned long-standing alliance assumptions. And hanging over the entire visit was a simple question. Was this really a celebration, or a diplomatic rescue mission dressed up in royal pageantry? That's what made this dinner so important. And that's why every word mattered. Earlier that day, King Charles had already made history by becoming only the second British monarch ever to address a joint session of Congress. The first was Queen Elizabeth in 1991. That alone made this trip historic. But by the time the cameras moved into the White House that night, the real headline was no longer history. It was chemistry, because Trump was clearly enjoying the moment. He praised King Charles repeatedly, called him a fantastic man, said he'd known him for years. At one point, Trump even told photographers he was jealous of the king's speech. Then later, during the dinner, Trump joked that Charles had done something he never could. He got the Democrats to stand. I've never been able to do that. The room laughed. Trump was loose, relaxed, clearly leaning into the spectacle. And then came Charles. Calm, measured, controlled. He stood for his toast and began like a monarch should. Warm, diplomatic, polished. He spoke about shared history, shared sacrifice, the bond between the United States and the United Kingdom. Everything was smooth, expected, safe, until, suddenly, it wasn't. Because then King Charles looked at Trump and dropped the line that changed the night. You recently commented, Mr. President, that if it were not for the United States, European countries would be speaking German. Pause. Dare I say, if it wasn't for us, you'd be speaking French. The room exploded. Laughter, applause, shock. And just like that, King Charles had done the unthinkable. He roasted Donald Trump in Trump's White House, at Trump's own state dinner. And somehow, he got away with it. That one line instantly became the moment of the night, because it did everything at once. It was funny, it was sharp, it was historically loaded, and beneath the humor, it carried a message. Britain may no longer rule the world, but Charles made one thing very clear. The UK was not showing up to play the junior partner. That joke wasn't just a joke, it was a reminder of history, of leverage, of status, and, in a room built on power optics, that mattered a lot. That's what made the moment so effective. Charles didn't challenge Trump directly. He didn't embarrass him. He did something much smarter. He matched Trump's style for one sentence. He used humor, confidence, timing, and he reminded everyone in the room that soft power still matters, that monarchy still matters, that symbolism still matters. And for one moment, King Charles controlled the room better than the man who lives in it. That's what made this so striking. Trump hosted the dinner. Trump owned the venue. Trump controlled the guest list. But Charles won the moment. And what a guest list it was. Jeff Bezos was there. Lauren Sanchez was there. Tim Cook was there. Rory McIlroy was there with Erica Stoll. Fox News personalities, cabinet officials, Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, Trump's children, power brokers, donors, media elites. It was less a dinner, and more a live-action map of power in America. And in the middle of all of it, King Charles hijacked the headline with one perfectly timed joke. Even the visual details were loaded. Queen Camilla arrived in a deep pink gown and royal diamonds. Melania wore a pink Dior look of her own. The menu was designed like a luxury diplomatic performance: spring herb ravioli, Dover sole, a beehive-shaped chocolate gâteau. Everything was crafted for symbolism, even the toast. At one point, Charles raised his glass and referenced the Boston Tea Party, a subtle nod to the very rebellion that created America. It was elegant, funny, calculated, and another reminder that this entire visit was built on one central contradiction. America was celebrating 250 years of independence, with the King of England as guest of honor. That contradiction is exactly what made the night so compelling. Because this wasn't just about diplomacy, it was about image, power, narrative, and who could command a room without ever raising their voice. Trump brought the spectacle, Charles brought the precision. And, in the end, that's why one line broke through everything else. Not the guest list, not the gowns, not the menu, not even the politics. One line: if it wasn't for us, you'd be speaking French. A joke, a flex, and maybe the most British power move the White House has seen in years. If this is what diplomacy looks like in 2026, it's not quiet anymore.